So I guess I try to like get into a warm place because I'm dealing with like quite heavy subject matter. So I try to get into a place of non-judgment and flow, which is kind of like a childlike state, I guess. So I have my music, I have my like stimming light. I put like these words in front of it. But there's always this kind of mermaid colors that go on top of all the gore. This is kind of like a reference to an opal, my favorite. I even have like a real wet specimen opal here. I don't know if you can see the colors there. You can catch it? That holographic bit there. But anyway, these are my colors. If anyone talks about my colors, there's not really a color, it's a density. So that's the latex, and that is the kind of mermaid fish scale. So like always thinking about these different kind of layering situations. Like I'm obsessed with eyes and the evil eye. I even have one here. I always have a few on my body and then I have some on my ear. But I remember like when my mum used to come back from working as a midwife in the kind of communal area, there'll always be loads of Vogues, dirty Vogues that people are looking through. And I'd always rip out the pages. So I put my Kate Blanchett up. Because I remember as a kid just looking at that and seeing how the women's gaze was different from the men's. So the women's one would be like, I have a secret, like this kind of feminine knowledge. And the men's one would be like a far away, wistful stare. Like, you know, I'm busy. So, yeah, those things I can't quite place, I'll have them. Like the laser grid, like the sniper's laser. These are all kind of like ubiquitous things. Like there's an advertisement for a cleaner in West London, but they're all kind of things that have this thing I want to explore, this horror just underneath of the surface, but they're so flat at the same time. This is how I'm a terrible colorist. Well, I'm not even one at all, but I'd kind of get like these. These are quite expensive though, so I hate it when I lose them. I don't know if you can see, let's find one with a green. There's always a bit of like a green tinge with the red, right? And I'd like hold that up and think like what that painting needs. See right there with the Dan Flavin, we've got the purples and we've got the reds. Just need to find the yellows. But yeah, these colors are more important to me than the primaries. So these bile, bruised, kind of yellow, acidy tones. And I'd often like, it's the same, you know? But that's how I'd pick colors. I literally have to reference like this and think what it needs because my brain thinks in layers. This is like something my brother gave me the other day from Nablus. It's the last factory in Nablus that's functioning in Palestine. And it's a soap. I think Mona Hatoum did something, but I didn't know this until my brother told me. But I just like the colors because I love the blue and the red. It's always like, again, this blue, this red, this Fortnum and Mason kind of green with this red. And like going back to palette, these are old Iraqi money. I mean, it's so beautiful. Like the aqua and the subtle, subtle touches of that pink or red. I like it because it's a type of materiality because no one consumes porn like that anymore. But it's more like about this thing about a hyper-visible that is so dehumanizing, I guess, but also used for satisfaction in certain purposes. So this enjoyment of the image, the use value of the image, and the kind of who is visible in that over visibility, which is like women and brown people. Because with the guy, you just see the dick, you know? There's some screens there, which are like protest screens I made for like t-shirts, where I kind of like was getting quite disillusioned with painting. I was like, I just need to, like, people just need words to put on their body. So just thinking about that direct relationship and these things that I love to steal. It's not just Gilbert and George, because they're just so British, and each city has their own kind of like stupid word logic. Like New York Post has their own, because you're trying to find the most efficient way of using language and getting attention. So this economy of attention and what is recognizable in an image in a field is really interesting. So this I'm working towards the showroom, and I think I definitely would also be a sign painter and a nose. Just sign painting paint. It's really nice because it's super opaque and glossy. But I love like doing lettering and collecting lettering. I love this kind of sun font. You Dirty Rats. This is taken from flea market in Guadalajara for like repairs on shoes, or is it metal, I don't know. But I had to have it with this person's hand. There's a handness to it that is not the same as if you get vinyl. So I really love that thing. So this is screen printed, and this is like a police line. This is the library, but it's basically my kind of organizing my hoarding situation. So all the words will go here. This is my dad's kind of calligraphy section here, somewhat. There's like a whole fat section of like fat looking colors, shea butter, foam. You know, there's a flesh section, there's a sex section, there's a paper mache section. But they're all like super specific to my organization. So if the team did it, they'll kind of like throw it off, which I find interesting because everything's interpretation. Like this is like lots of hair for my sister. But what I realize is interesting is like I haven't used these yet, but when you ask someone to give you something of their body, you know, it made her sad after a while. She's like, I'm realizing how much hair I'm shedding because you're introducing time into the equation. So I was like, okay, I need to calm that down, maybe just collect my own hair. I need some blonde hair. So yeah, I have, clearly you can see I have a thing for like eyes, the evil eye. So when you come in, this kind of energy coming here, you're immediately protected by the eye. But I love these like these boring things, but they're so precious to me as a kid. You know how a kid loves bubble wrap and they'll throw away the present? I'm still at that stage. So Imperial level, when I showed this at the Chisholm Hill, everyone recognized it. I was like, oh, you know, I know that. Because when you go into an art installation, you're like, I don't understand, I haven't read the blurb. And it's nice when you just have these recognizable cultural artifacts that also just, you know, if you really look at it, Imperial leather sounds quite murderous. I love those colors though, the gold, the black, the red, the flesh. This section here, it's all kind of like the wet specimens I did with my ex. And we'd do that as like a calming like Friday night or something on the weekend, because it's just, you have to be very precise, so you have to be quiet while you do it. But there's one I drew the line on it. It's like a songbird's vocal cords that Lily did. Oh, it's behind here. Let's get it out. Wait. I don't think that's right, you know, but I can't throw it away. It's somehow come apart, but that's the vocal cord. Trying to figure out what my artistic impulse is and what my excavation means, because they're all loosely anatomy, maps, anatomy and maps, and psychoanalysis. That's my Goosebumps section. I'm not referencing it more than Goosebumps. Like the colors on the old books are fucking incredible. Like so, like I think it's better than Warhol. You know, pretty cool. So I'd use that like as a template as well. Sometimes you have to give up. You can't categorize these things. I mean, that's about that. It's a pseudo archive and then possibility of archiving. So this, for example, these two crab shells, because they still stink. I went on a date, it didn't go so well. And I felt the urge more to collect when like there's a failed encounter. So I was like, oh, I'm double Cancer. That's a sign. So I was like, at least I got these two things, you know? So that's nice. My double Cancer, Scorpio rising. You know, there's so many things I don't even know. Like, there's no point where I can start. It's a dick cage. I just thought, what is a dick cage? So I had to buy one to understand it. It's all silicone, so it's not actually as traumatic as I thought. This is an interesting collection. So these are all different slingshots. This one's really good because you could use the leverage from your elbow. I don't know exactly how to use it. This is in the demilitarized zone, like food for the military, that, you know, you rehydrate with water. But I just love this color. This is like a deathly color, but also can be a super, you know, high-end lifestyle luxury color too, if you turn it eggshell. But I love that text. This is like warfighter recommended, warfighter approved, Asian beef style strips with vegetables. Applesauce, delicious. Yeah, apple pieces and spice sauce. But that to me looks like, that's what hell would look like. A sachet like that. And then just seeing like different text fonts on different things. This is just like from Chinatown. I like just the name Kiss Burn, and it's just like chewy dry meat. My mum loves it. You have it during Chinese New Year. It's called like square meat. I kind of need a big range of things to make the associations. So like, it's like Jack and the Beanstalk cover, a kind of old swatch with gold, and then this kind of microbiology samples. But again, you got the transparency and the flesh tones, and that blue that's always offsetting this yellow, red. I mean, that to me is so beautiful. That is bacterial growth or a sunset or a peach. With that range, which is all in this kind of transparent color realm. But they can be really subtle connections. So like this was like a kind of illustration that was of a baby that was framed. But I need this red, and just thinking about this menacing eye, the imperial eye, the colonial eye. But then I took this picture in Mexico, and it had just a bit of latex with some newspaper in the middle. I just thought like, oh, that's that, but different, you know. In the practice is a processing, and it's kind of like also defense against what's happening. I guess everything's a big cope, right? We're all a big cope. And it's really nice to put that into a language that then is fed and responded to in a community of people, even if that community is just one collaborator. And it gets out in the world and acknowledged as something that can tie back to an event that couldn't be spoken.